exactly. I pressed a button, but I think it's manageable now. So anyway, let's get into it, man. What's going on? What's going on with Cash Money?
All right, man. So you remember me telling you last time when we did that Pdai thing about OINK? So before, 1,000,000 OINK would have cost you 600,000 PLS, yeah? Now it'll cost you 20 million PLS. You know what I mean? It's super up, bro, right? 1,000,000 would have cost you $17. Now it costs you like $820, right? So it's
Mm.
the tokenomics, the mechanics, the way everything's built, how the treasury works, all the contracts. Like it's insane, bro. You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
let me give you a little background on it, Stephen, because you're gonna love the tech, bro. I know you love tech, bro. So let me give you some background. When it first launched, right? Well, it was built and then it was waiting for audits. It got 2 audits and then it got a third independent audit. So basically 3 audits on it, right? And then it launched October 2023. The only way people could mine OINK was with T-shares. If you were a T-share holder, you could mine OINK for free. So that went on for like a month, 2 months, 3 months. And then after that, single stake pools were added. So like PLSX, PLS, Hex, stuff like that, right? And people were able to mine OINK for free. You can hear me, Stephen, yeah?
I can hear you. Yep.
Oh, okay. So after some time, yeah, the everything is DAO controlled. It's controlled by the DAO. Literally everything, every single function, emissions, fees, everything that you can imagine is controlled by the DAO. The entire platform, right? So the DAO turned on perpetual fees, so it would make OINK a lot more difficult to get. So at the beginning, you would farm for OINK miners. So you could choose to take a 1 month, 3 month, 6 month, 1 year, 3 year, or 5 year stake when you claim what you mine. Obviously, if you take the 5 year stake, you're going to get the maximum APR that you were staking for. If you take liquid, you're going to get very little. It's not supposed to be a liquid coin. And at the time, people could take the 5 year stakes, and then it's like Hex. You can early end your stake, but you got to pay a penalty. And as time goes by, and it reaches to that 5 year mark, your penalty goes lower and lower and lower. So perpetual fees were turned on. Emissions started going. So when it started, emissions were 1% to the OINK miners and 99% to the single stake pools. And over time, over this last almost 2 years, the emissions have shifted from the pools over to the miners. So making OINK that much harder to get. And when people stake now in the single stake to earn OINK, they have to pay perpetual fees, which is turned on by the DAO. And those fees go directly to the treasury. So let's rewind here. Just about 14, 15 months ago, when the DAO turned on the perpetual fees, we had a benevolent whale come in and stake 1 billion PLSX. So the protocol could eat. And it started eating off that. And then we started building treasury farming contracts. So setting up for the treasury. So like example, let's say back then we started with a INK PLSX farm over on PulseX, and we were farming INK, and the APRs were good at the time, right? So like basically the harvest button would harvest the INK, send it to the treasury, right? So over time, with all the coins the treasuries collected, yeah, and with all the fees that came in, and with all the treasury farming contracts sending core coins to the treasury grew and allowed us to expand even more. So like example, we got a whole slew of treasury farming contracts. So the dev will build a treasury farming contract where, let's say, example, we would basically go into the ink print pool, ink print farm on ink printer. This is an example of one of them. So we got the ink print LP. So there's about $5,000 worth of it. Okay. And it earns print. So this certain contract takes the print. So the harvest button on that contract takes the print, single stakes the print, in the ink printer single state contract, and it automatically harvests the INCD in the ink that's generated from protocol revenue, and it sends that directly to the treasury. An example, another farming contract was built where we put another $5,000-$6,000 from the treasury into it, and it's ink print and it farms print. The harvest button basically harvests the print, sells the print to ink, and sends the ink to the treasury, right? So we got a whole slew of these treasury farming contracts with $5,000-$6,000 in each. Some of them they farm on, let's example, HTT 3000 hex. So we got big piles of hex, and it farms over there, and the harvest button will harvest the ACTR, sell the ACTR into PLS, put direct buy pressure on OINK, and then send the OINK to the burn address and burn the OINK. Then another example is the ACTR is harvested. It sells the ACTR to PLS. It uses 50% of the PLS to buy OINK. It pairs that OINK with the other 50% of the PLS, and it LPs it and sends the LP to the treasury. So we got contracts like this that are sending EHEX to the treasury. We got HEX coming into the treasury, PLS, PLSX, a bunch of coins. And the perpetual fees are bringing in a slew of different coins. So every block, the protocol grows in value. You know what I mean? And the goal from the beginning was, right, every crypto project relies on buyers, right? If there is no buyers and there is only sellers, then everything goes down and it dies out, right? So the only way to have a sustainable full growth project is to have a whale. But there's no whale that eventually will have $5 or $10 million that's going to stake their money and use their interest to buy and burn OINK. So I said, okay, we got to create the whale. How are we going to do that? We're going to build up cores in the treasury. We're going to build up treasury farming contracts. And this whole bear market, we've been building on it. Now we're sitting on just in core coins and core coins in the treasury contract, in the treasury farming contracts. It's the other day was $100,000 when I looked. Now everything's down, so we're probably looking at about 80,000. But let's just put things into perspective, guys. We're at the bottom here, right? Alts haven't even popped off yet, right? And when they do pop off, very conservative, 50x would put the treasury at $5 million, right? So the goal is at the top of the cycle to convert. This is the main part of the protocol, okay? The main goal is to convert the treasury, all farming contracts, all core coins at the top of the cycle into stablecoin. We estimate we're going to be looking at anywhere from $5 to $10 million in stables. That's with a very conservative 50 to 100x in price appreciation in core assets, which I think is very bear. But let's just talk about it on the bear end. It puts the treasury around 5 to 10 million US dollars. What we're going to do is we're going to deploy stable coins across chain into V3 liquidity. Let's say on Ethereum, on Base, wherever stable coin volume is really good. And those harvest buttons will automatically harvest the interest. It will compound 25% of that interest back into the stables. Those stables will sit there forever, and they will grow as the treasury, as it's compounding 25% of that interest, and it bridges the other 75% interest back into Pulse Chain to a contract. That contract will be used 24 hours a day, every 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, forever. And that 75% will be used to buy and burn OINK. Part of it will be used to buy and burn Degen, but we can't put that much buy and burn pressure on Degen because the supply is limited. Coins won't come out for a long time, and a small amount would push the price, would super send it. So the majority of the buy and burn will be on OINK, and what's going to happen is it's going to print green candles throughout the whole bear. when you got $5-10 million generating you interest, and I'm pretty certain we can bring in 18 to 36% APR on those stables, which is on $5 million, we're talking 2,500 to 5,000 a day. On $10 million, we're talking 5,000 to $10,000 a day. 75% of that of buy pressure daily, nonstop, with the treasury growing from the compound, just super sends the price. And when we got green candles throughout the bear, day after day, week after week, month after month, people can't not notice it. And that's going to be the marketing for OINK. Because as you guys know, we refuse to pay influencers to talk about OINK. That's why you don't hear about OINK. They talk about, hidden gems, new protocols on Pulse Chain, but they're only paid to talk about what they're paid to talk about. And if they're not paid, they don't talk. And we're not about giving community coins out. We're about giving back to the community and spreading those coins within the ecosystem, not to influencers that are going to take it, advertise as a pump and dump, and then dump the tokens on our community and extract community money. We appreciate natural growth, and we care about natural growth. We care about quality investors. It's like a boutique, high-end, top of the line DeFi protocol. And one day it's gonna be recognized as that, because we're growing it to that. And the pathway, we're ahead of schedule, right? And our future, like we got an NFT marketplace lined up for the future, which, if you guys know, OINK stakes are in NFTs, just like HSI Hex stakes. So we got OSI OINK stakes, we got DSI Degen stakes. So all those will be listed for buying, selling, and auctions on the NFT marketplace that we plan to release sometime in 2027. After all of 2006, the Treasury just prints green candles on the chart, and we get the users coming over, right? Because we need a lot of users. It's going to attract the Hex community, because it's going to give them a place where they can buy, sell, and auction their Hex stakes, right? We got so the main goal, right, is to convert that treasury. When we convert the treasury, the DAO will also convert the LP that the treasury holds. The OINK PLS will be pulled. The PLS will be converted to DAI, and the DAI OINK LP will be created. So we decopulate from PLS in the bear. So when PLS and everything starts curving down, we don't dip down with it. Hart's law is price. We're not talking about ratio. We're talking about price. And buy and sells will move our price. And with the OINK treasury interest going to be just sending green candles daily, it's gonna shoot up. And when that happens, we're gonna get the people. And when we get the people, we're gonna release that NFT marketplace. So our plans for that 75% of interest for that buy and burn is gonna run until January 2027. And then when the bottom of the bear comes around, we're gonna reroute 37.5% of that 75%. So 50% of that 75% of the interest, which equates to 37.5% of the interest, will then be used to DCA into cores at the bottom of the market and throughout the bear to continuously build that treasury, build more farming treasury contracts in the next bear to push the treasury and the value of OINK to like the next level by 2029. Like, things are lined up from 2029, 2033, 2037, and 2041. When you got good DeFi and it constantly grows and it grows by the block, you got to make future plans. So the plans, I'm not going to talk about all the plans, but I give you a little taste about the NFT marketplace, right? So, example, right? We've launched Degen strategy about 2.5 months ago, which is OINK's sister protocol,
Can I just
right?
pause you for a second? Sorry, Cash Money.
Yeah.
So before we get into Degen strategy, so
Yeah.
the stable coins, converting into stable coins,
Yeah.
is that automated, or is that going to happen by somebody pushing some buttons?
no. So every single thing, every function, every movement of funds, anything is controlled by the DAO. So to do anything, right, a proposal needs to be made in the DAO, right? So it would be example, we want to pull the farm on ink printer back to the treasury. A proposal would be made in the DAO by somebody making that proposal using OINK and burning that OINK to set the proposal. People can vote on that proposal. And once the proposal passes, it goes to a second vote, which the vote is then controlled by the miners. So the long-term miners have a vote on to ratify that first proposal. So it's a second step in case somebody tries to pass a malicious proposal. That first proposal that's approved then goes to the miners to approve. Whoever has miners votes on it. We're also adding a third layer of security, which is already coded into the system, which is the Senate. There's going to be a Senate with a group of 100 senators, and each proposal that is made and passed and ratified by the miners can be called into the Senate if it's a malicious proposal. And the 100 Senate community members would then vote on that proposal as a third ratification to pass it through or to block it. If you have enough coins, if you don't like what's going on, you can always block a proposal, right? But there are whales, right? This was created basically for hex people. The only way in the start to earn any OINK, any emissions, anything, was to only be a T-share holder. If you held T-shares, you were able to mine OINK free.
When people,
pardon me?
Hex T-shares?
Yeah, so T-shares. So if you made a hex stake and you have a T-share, you can still go and the DApp will read your wallet. It doesn't touch your T-shares. It reads your wallet that you are a hex staker and you hold T-shares, and for your amount of T-shares, we'll give you that slice of the pie. You can still go and mine for free right now. It's the only pool on the OINK system where you can actually mine OINK for free, even now to this day, is if you hold T-shares, let the DApp read your wallet, and it will start mining for you automatically and doesn't touch anything from your wallet. What was I gonna say?
How do you go about doing that on the DApp?
Well, that's from the start. That's programmed into the code, right? So it's a pool. So if you want to go to stake your Pulse chain back, so you're on that. So you see right there, you see PulseX, you see INK right there on the screen that you got there. If you scroll down all the way to the bottom, all the way, you'll see right there, double hex interest. So if you have T-shares, you can click that. That pool just reads your wallet and adds you to the pool. As you can see, there are heavy whales. There's about 30,000 T-shares that are mining in that pool right now. As you can see, it shows, right? 30,000 T-shares. So there's been some whales from the start, right? But yeah, it was based off hex. It's basically so if you were to buy some OINK right now and you were to stake it, whether in a 1 month stake, 3 months, 6 month, 1 year, 3 year, or 5 year, and you stake it, it burns that OINK out of circulation, right? When your stake is ready and you go and you claim your stake, you're minting your original coins back and you're minting your interest, just like Hex. And if you early end that stake before the agreed time that you staked for, then there's going to be penalties associated with that. And as your stake goes on further and further and further, those penalties go down by the day until you get to day 0, where you have a 0 penalty to claim your stakes, right?
So are you surrendering your Hex T-shares to get the OINK?
No, you're not surrendering anything. If you are farming, if you are a Hex T-share holder, then you are eligible to farm OINK for free. It doesn't take your T-shares out your wallet. You don't even have T-shares in your wallet, right? there you have a hex stake, right?
Mm.
And it doesn't, it's just reading your wallet. Do you participate in hex? You do. You are eligible to mine. It doesn't touch your wallet. It just reads the wallet. The other
Wow.
pools, you stake. The other pools, yeah, you want to stake. You got to stake the PLSX. There are perpetual fees that will be charged to your stake and sent to the treasury, right? Everything is governed by the DAO. The DAO turns on the perpetual fees, can turn off the perpetual fees. Anybody can make a proposal. Anybody can change the emissions. Of course, it's got to be good for the system. If it's not good for the system, then obviously people will block it. The big whales will block it. But no reasonable proposal will not pass, right?
Okay. Understood. So, can you re-explain that point about when you convert to stables? It kind of sounds like you're bridging out and then you're sucking liquidity from other blockchains into
Yeah,
this chain.
to bring in money into Pulse Chain. I was going to get to that, right? So a lot of people don't understand, oh, you're bridging money. Oh, no. We're not sucking money from V3 liquidity within Pulse Chain. We're going to suck V3 liquidity fees that we're going to earn from other chains with high volume. And that's all going to bridge back in, bringing value forever back into Pulse Chain, because those stables are going to remain in stables forever. They're going to generate thousands of dollars of interest daily forever, and it's going to compound 25% of that forever. And that's going to allow DCAing, it's going to allow for other investments in the future, right? So, and back to how does it get converted? So a proposal would be made in the DAO. It would be approved in the DAO. It would run over to the miners. The miners would approve it. The proposal would be enforced, and it would pull back into the treasury. So it would go directly from that contract back into the treasury. It's a contract held within the treasury. So it would be pulled back to the treasury. Then to convert the LP, to split the LP is a whole different story. To convert the coins to DAI is a whole different story. So once the LP comes back in the treasury, another contract needs to be made by the dev, where a proposal would be made in the DAO, right? And that LP would then get sent to that contract. That contract would automatically unpair the LP to the two coins, and it would automatically send the coins back to the treasury, like all in one. So you hit that enforce, it sends it to the contract, unpairs the coins in the contract, and sends the coins back to the contract. Then you want to, we want the treasury to sell to stables. Another proposal must be made. First, a contract must be made that swaps that coin into the stable. A proposal is made to send the coins to that contract. As soon as it's passed in the DAO, it's enforced in the DAO. The coin goes directly to that contract. It swaps in that swapper to DAI, and it automatically sends the DAI back to the treasury. When we put the DAI to work and other stable coins across other chains, it's all through contracts. There is no middleman. There's not me or somebody physically moving the coins. There's a dev that writes the code, builds the contracts. The contract would have it built in where it enforces in the treasury. The contract automatically takes it to the bridge. It bridges it over, claims it on the other side, on the other blockchain. It automatically sets it into that V3 liquidity with the ranges already preset into that contract, and it does it all. And then there would be a harvest button on that contract. So as it generates trading fees, right, for buying and selling, as we know, more than 50% of crypto volume is in stable coins. That harvest button, harvest, it automatically claims, sends it to the bridge, bridges over back to Pulse Chain, claims it on the Pulse Chain side, and puts it into the buy and burn contract, where anybody on the UI can run that buy and burn with that coin. So we're talking, there's going to be buy and burn every 15, 20 minutes. Like, it's going to be just going nuts. And also programmed into each contract will be, when the harvest button harvests, those rewards, don't remember 25% will automatically be compounded in. So that will be programmed into the contracts, like how every other movements are programmed into all of our other treasury farming contracts, right? It's really high tech. It's really the mechanics, the tokenomics, the tech is just it's mind blowing, right? And there is really nothing like what is going on here, right? You know what I mean?
I love it. I love the concept of
It's
the
real
basically the
DeFi,
future
right?
investing. Mm.
And when I say OINK does not rely on buyers, we don't rely on buyers. Everybody needs buyers, man. When I see a buy on OINK, it fucking pisses me off, bro. Because you know what? That's somebody buying who's gonna sell in the future, man. They're gonna dump and they're gonna make money. All we need is the treasury buying up, buying up, buying up. So then I said, okay, we need to come up with some more tech, something else that is over sustainable as well, right? And that's when I came up with Degen strategy, right? It's a farming protocol. It's OINK's sister protocol, Degen strategy. So at launch, right, the OINK treasury has set up a treasury farming contract that is farming. I think that one is farming as well on Ink Printer with Ink Print. The harvest button harvests the print. It sells the print to PLS. It uses the PLS to buy OINK out of the PLS OINK LP, which puts buy pressure on OINK. The Degen LP is set up from Degen OINK LP, so it then takes that OINK and puts the OINK on the bid side of that OINK Degen LP, removes the Degen from the ask side, and it burns the Degen. So it puts buy pressure on OINK, and it builds the value of OINK. While pushing the value of OINK up, it pushes the value of Degen up. Hart's law. We're not talking about ratios. We're talking about price. Hart's law pushes the price of Degen up. Using that OINK on the bid side to buy the Degen is also adding more valuable OINK to the bid side, removing the Degen from the ask side, and pushing up the value of Degen as well while burning the Degen, right? So OINK, because of the position it's in and the money it has, it's able to set up that contract to put that buy and burn on Degen. Degen, the tech it's zero fees to the users. There is no deposit fees. There is no perpetual fees. There's no buy tax. There's no sell tax. Although in the future, the DAO could turn it on, but the tech is so good, I don't think that it would ever pass that any fees would come on. The tech is all the farms over there use rehypothecation. The rehypothecation gets harvested into a contract. That contract is to buy OINK for the Degen treasury. So it puts constant buy pressure on OINK. I think it's bought about I'd say about $13,000 of OINK in the last 65 days, right? We've removed about 14 million OINK off the market just with that tech, with no cost to the users, right? And as I said, when the OINK treasury converts, a small part of that treasury will be used for V3 liquidity, for the interest to be used to buy and burn Degen. We can't put much because the supply, we got to think about this, right? Starting liquidity was 750 billion Degen and 75 million OINK, right? The Degen left for sale in the LP is approximately 550 billion. So 200 billion has been bought out of there. The only way OINK comes out of the bid side of that LP is for somebody to sell Degen, right? To remove the OINK from that bid side, and there's no Degen being created, right? You can take some liquid to your wallet, but like how OINK started in the beginning, when it was very easy to get, you were mining for stakes. If you wanted to take liquid, you're not going to get that high APR. You want to get the top APR on those farms, on those pools and on those farms, you need to take it in the 5-year stake. So what Degen has done has made it into 1, 3, 6, 1 year, and 10-year stakes. So now a lot of the Degen is not going to come out because they're in 10-year stakes. People are farming for 10-year stakes. There's maybe about, if I had to guess, about 150,000 in TVL in the farms farming right now. The only way Degen is going to come out over the next 10 years is when the price pumps, because there's very little Degen available. With that buy and burn, it's raising that floor ratio between OINK and Degen. It's raising that floor because it's using the PLS to buy the OINK, using the OINK to buy the Degen, and it's building that floor ratio because it's removing and burning that supply out of that 750 billion starting supply. That starting supply only goes down and it can't grow because people are farming in 10-year stakes. They're mining in 10-year miners. So what's going to happen is the whole game theory is just like with OINK. OINK was free. The price is up. What are we up? 40x. Some people, they see a high price. They want to early end. That's all cool, man. You can early end. You can take a massive amount of money and the treasury just keeps buying. The tech keeps buying it back. And slowly people keep getting rinsed out their positions because the price is really high and they're like, oh, I better take some profit here, right? And the price just keeps going because the tech, what we got going on here is just amazing. And then we got that Degen strategy that puts a lot of buy pressure on OINK, right? And it's been stacking the OINK. It's been removing it off the market, right? So it's the tech, man. We don't require buyers, right? Degen will eventually switch from the rehypothecated rewards going to a OINK buyback, going to a treasury, to its own treasury. And that own treasury for the next cycle will start building farming contracts, treasury farming contracts to start bringing in funds as well. Remember, for the first year of OINK, there was no treasury farming contracts. There was no money. The money was generated from the perpetual fees, generated from the treasury farming contracts, and it's just been grown and compounded, and everything just grew out of control, and everything is fat now. So how OINK started with nothing, OINK's sister protocol Degen is backed by OINK, right? OINK helps Degen by putting that treasury farming contract onto the Degen buy and burn, and Degen is helping OINK right now, removing supply off the market. Removing supply off the market pumps the price of OINK, which in turn, Hart's Law, pumps the price of Degen. As you can see in the last 65 days, Degen is up 16x, right? So as time goes by, the supply will get eaten up and the price will go up. And as the price goes up on these 10-year stakes, people can early end after a 1-year mandatory hold. And just like OINK, as time goes by, that penalty you pay gets lower and lower and lower. But when the price goes so high, people are going to start eventually early ending. They're going to pay that high fee and they're going to make good money. And when they make good money and they're early ending that stake, what they've earned now to get that stake gets burned back into the system. You understand? Removing it out of not the circulating supply, but out of the total supply, even out of the burns, out of the miner supply, which is not in the circulating supply, but in the total supply. You understand?
Somewhat.
What do you mean, somewhat? What don't you understand, bro?
It's a lot of information to take in. That's what I mean by somewhat. So.
There's a lot to it, bro. It's not just like a pig coin, you know what I mean, that people buy and sell, right? You know what I mean? But I'll tell you this, the real fucking green candles, the real party is going to start at the top of the cycle. And when we convert that treasury, OINK will not see a bear. Everybody and their mother, day after day after day, are going to see the entire markets going down. And all they're going to see is OINK printing green candles. and it's going to happen day after day, week after week, month after month, and people will not be able to put it in their blinders anymore. They're going to come into the chat and they're going to say, I need to know how the fuck this is possible. And if they pay attention, like I told you guys, like what, 4 months ago, you know what I mean? You could have got a million OINK for $17. I told you, top tech, top mechanics, top tokenomics, not a pump and dump. No insiders promoting to dump on your head. Real deal DeFi, $17 for a million. Now what are we talking now? $820 for a million, bro. We're up like 40x, no? That's no joke. Yep. You know what I mean? And we're talking alts haven't even popped off yet, right? But when the tech really kicks in, when we convert that treasury, that is when the party really starts. That's when the celebration starts. Whatever happens right now, all this price performance, it's meaningless, bro. It means nothing. It's garbage. Don't even watch this. You know what I mean? The real tech kicks in when we convert that treasury. You know what I mean?
Well, that's the part that captivates me the most.
The treasury is the whale in the room. You know what I mean?
And it's a DAO.
Yeah. OINK is run by a DAO and Degen strategy is run by a DAO. OINK is the governance of Degen strategy, right? And every single function, whatever you can imagine, is controlled by the DAO. Everything. There is not one thing that is controlled by a human. It's all controlled by the DAO. Like you can see, if you went to the bottom left there, you can see all the different things. The miners, the allocation, the halving, the dispersal of rewards. Like there's contracts, right? So like example, right? So when somebody early ends a stake and they pay a fee, they pay an early end fee. What they're forfeiting gets sent over to the governor contract. The governor contract is controlled by the DAO, and there's different things the governor contract can do. The governor contract can burn them back into the system. So the OINK that has been collected from early end stakes can be burned back into the system. So that would raise the APRs in the system, right? That OINK can be sent to an actual burn address, which we have two. We have the 0x000369, and we also have the 000 dead address. It can be sent there. And also what can happen is a rewards dispersal can go out of 27 million coins over a 48-hour time period. And if somebody was to call that function in the DAO and make a proposal to pass that, it would disperse 27 million coins out of that governor to the miners who are mining with the OINK stakes. And as soon as that 48 hours came to a halt, the entire system would do a halving. So all rewards, like Bitcoin, would do a halving. Everything would be cut in half. So at the time when perpetual fees were turned on just over a year ago, a halving occurred. So it dispersed out a big amount of OINK to the miners. When it was done, it did a halving and it halved all system rewards. This also played a good role in pushing the price of OINK up, right? So now, when we do convert the treasury and we convert the OINK PLSLP to OINK Pdai LP, a halving will occur. We'll put a proposal in the system to do a rewards dispersal to the OINK miners, and a halving will happen right after, which will cut rewards in half. And with this second halving, and with what the interest from those stables are going to be able to generate and do a buy and burn, we're essentially going to make OINK 100% deflationary. Not a deflationary mechanic. I'm talking about real deal deflationary. So let's say at that point, the system mints for all rewards into miners and to pools At that point, 2.5 million OINK per day, the treasury will be able to scoop up more than 2.5 million OINK per day, making it 100% deflationary. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. This is real deal DeFi, man. This is real deal DeFi.
Okay, so all right, I'm gonna try and manage this. So if I've just got to mute you so I don't get the. Here we go. So if I mute you now, I don't get the backflow. But yeah, so I want to ask a question then. So who has come up with all of these ideas? So obviously this is something where even all of these ideas and concepts is very unique to Pulse Chain. I don't really see this type of thing happening on any other blockchain. Who's the mastermind behind these kinds of ideas? Where did it all come from?
Okay, so you know we're the big brain crew, bro. You know what I mean? So the dev, yeah, one of the best devs on Pulse Chain, bro. Low key, okay, writes the best code, has the best tech. His name's Mark. He's the crypto godfather, okay? Mark has created OINK, okay? He's created the basic system that you see there. And when I came in and I seen this protocol right at the start, I loved it. And I used a lot of money to farm in the pools, man, to get a nice chunk because I seen this as a forever growing protocol. And when I seen what was going on, and I got involved speaking with the dev, and I told the dev, this is what we need to do. And there was kind of like we had a disagreement. You know what I mean? Like the perpetual fees were coming into the treasury, and some people thought it would be a good idea. Okay, let's use that funds to buy and burn OINK. Okay, that's going to send up the price, right? And that's not going to really do anything to build the protocol. That's just like a fake price pump. You know what I mean? It's got to be sustainable. This is what we need to do. We need to build these contracts. We need to use the cash flow that we have to create more cash flow, and use that cash flow that we're creating to create even more cash flow. And then when we get the treasury where we need it to be, then it could be a forever buy and burn, buy and burn. It will be the biggest whale. Imagine I told you this, right? Imagine I told you this. Okay, Steven, there's a protocol, and I know a fucking multi-millionaire. This guy's going to stake $10 million into V3 liquidity, and he's going to use that interest to buy and burn that coin forever. You're going to say, bro, that's never going to happen. That's an impossibility. You know why?
That's
Because that
now.
would never happen, bro. Nobody is going to come to a protocol, use $10 million to earn interest, and put buy pressure on your coin and burn it for the rest of their life. That's not going to happen. The only way that's going to happen is if you create that whale. I said, fuck, we got to create this whale. This is how we create the whale. And that's what we've
Bro,
been working on. And then I told the dev, listen, we need to create something that's going to be a OINK sister protocol. This guy writes sick code. I got the sickest tokenomics and mechanics. I got fucking mechanics for days, bro. We're working on things right now that would just blow your fucking mind. And everything is part of the OINK ecosystem. And everything that is built is over sustainable and grows by the block. The protocol grows by the block, bro. When I'm dead and gone and you're dead and gone, this shit is still gonna be here. It's gonna be stronger than ever, bro. It's just gonna keep growing just because the way it's set up, bro. It cannot go down. Sure, somebody could dump. We could get a red day. Of course, people in crypto, when prices go up, they sell. But when you see a sustainable 40x up, bro, you know what's going on, bro. Something good is happening over there. You know what I mean? Something really good is happening over there. So I told the dev, listen, we need to do this. We need to do degen strategy. We need to have these farms. We need to have it rehypothecated. And before I spoke to other devs, these guys can't get code right for nothing. The dev over here, like, I could do that right now, bro. No problem. I got that. You know what I mean? So, like, this guy can do anything. The code is the best. Everything this guy does is just like top notch. He's constantly just putting work in, bro. You know what I mean? And
love it.
remember,
So,
nobody owns the protocol, bro. This protocol is on Pulse Chain. It's there for the community. Nobody owns it. It's owned by the community, bro. The community controls it. The DAO controls everything. The dev is there. If we need contracts, he can write the contracts, and then we can do our proposals through the DAO. But to expand, you always need more contracts, more farming contracts, more this, more that, right? We just put up a few new pools in the OINK single stake to earn OINK. You can stake PTGC, UFO, and COM. That was added last night, right? But there's a lot of coins you can stake. There's PLSX, PLS, Hex. But mind you guys, right? Remember, the first year, there was no perpetual fees. The DAO has turned on perpetual fees. So to mine the OINK with single stake, it's going to take perpetual fees from you. Now, in the beginning, I'm going to give you an example. In the beginning of OINK, I called one of my friends and I said, yo, bro, go stake some PLSX over here. It's free. You're going to earn a shitload of OINK and you're going to put it in 5-year miners. What did the guy say to me, bro? My friend, nope, I don't want nothing that's going to be locked up in a 5-year miner. I said, bro, if it means that much to you, you can early end. But bro, this is a printer, bro. And what is going to happen over here is going to be big. It's going to be worth it. No, I don't want nothing locked up for 5 years. Okay, bro. Let's fast forward a year and a half, 5 months ago. What is my friend doing now, bro? He's fucking buying OINK at these prices, and he's fucking making 5-year stakes. What is going on here, bro? When it was free and it was abundant and easy to get, you wouldn't touch it. Now it's expensive. You can't even get it. You're buying it in stake. So we created Degen strategy, and it's the same game theory. It's backed by the OINK treasury, yeah, and you can farm Degen stakes for free with LP. The best farms over there, bro. A lot of core coin farms. And since Degen is up 16x, the APRs are massive. There's probably about $150,000, $200,000 staked over there, and the APRs are massive, bro. You know what I mean? So right now is the time where you can farm Degen and earn stakes for your future. In the future, it won't be this easy to get. Just like OINK. In the start, it was easy. Now, very difficult, bro, right? As time goes by, right, people are harvesting miners from here, and those are going to the miner pool, and they're earning over there. And as time goes by, the emissions are going to shift from the farms over to the Degen miners. And the rehypothecation fees and other sources of revenue that we have planned are going to feed the treasury. So it's going to get routed, instead of going to the OINK buyback, in good time, it's going to go to the treasury. And the treasury is going to start building. And then our plans for 2027 as well is our first DCAs will be into PLS with the interest from the millions, right? We're planning to set up, at least at the start, 100 validators to get started, right? We got 100 validators running. Those validators will run forever and generate, and there'll be community treasury validators. So we can expand the validators. We can use the funds that are being generated for other things in the ecosystem. Everything that happens is externally revenue generated. We're generating revenue externally coming in. And what we're really excited about is the stables launching them out on different chains and bridging that value back in 24 hours a day forever, right? Because in crypto, right, for you to make money, yeah, somebody's providing liquidity for that, and somebody's got to lose money, right? Crypto is PvP, but crypto doesn't need to be PvP. People make it PvP. People build bullshit like Better Bank. Like anybody could have seen that from a mile away, right? Like you look at fiat, right? Fiat, yeah, you can go over there and you can take out a loan in PLS or PLSX, and you just put your collateral and you can pay 2%. How the fuck is Better Bank paying 160% APY? People are not borrowing. The protocol was the borrower, right? So the protocol example, let's just do one example of the PLSX. The PLSX that was borrowed out of that pool was 80 billion. 80 billion borrowed by the protocol at 160% APY. That means the protocol just to pay the interest of that 160% APY, the protocol needs to generate external revenue to the thought of 320 million PLSX per day just to pay the interest on the loan that the protocol taken out. How are they able to generate 1 billion PLSX every 3 days to pay the interest? It's not possible. It's a fucking Ponzi. It was clear to see from day one. And then what do? I start telling people, take your money out now, man, because you ain't going to have the chance to take it out. And what do? They rugged it. What do they say? Oh, there's an exploiter. Come on, bro. We see this coming from day one, right? And what do they say? They want to keep the community happy. Don't worry, your funds are safe. Don't worry, you're still earning interest. Where's the interest coming from? Where's the billion PLSX coming from every 3 days that they're paying this interest? And that's just on the PLSX pool, bro. What about the PLS? What about the Pdai? What did I tell you guys? Don't do it. It's going to be detrimental to the prices. You guys are going to crash the chain. The fuck happened, bro? They crashed the chain. Everything just fucking plummeted. Now they tell you, don't worry, your funds are safe. Your funds are safe. What's going to happen, bro? They're going to do a round two. You're going to think, oh, wow, they're back. My funds are safe. Let me deposit more. And then they rug you again. You guys will see. Remember my words, guys. Remember my words. Warning. Real shit.
Okay, so I want to ask another question here. So I'm just going to put you on mute for a second so I don't get the feedback. But so first of all, the concept of the treasury as the DAO, the treasury is like this benevolent whale that protects the system, to me is like insanely awesome. It's insanely awesome. The awareness of that now is like awesome. And also because the concept of treasuries, particularly since this Ethereum treasury and this kind of like marketing of the Pulse chain being like one of the biggest holders in the Ethereum treasury, for me, I really feel like the concept of treasuries is like the next wave of, or potential next wave of like massive alphas. And we're already starting that here on Pulse chain with OINK. So that is really awesome to see. One thing that I wanted to ask you, it seems like, and even your understanding of Better Bank, you seem to have this like incredibly intuitive understanding of protocols. Even with Maker, you're so like in tune with Maker. That's one thing that I really regretted about our very first stream, is that I feel like you didn't really get a chance to really say all the things that you were trying to say. Too many people were interrupting, and I found that very frustrating when I went back to listen to it. So I want to know, like, where do you get your understanding from these things? I remember you saying, like, you know, I'm a boss, man, I'm a boss. And I remember you telling your backstory. I was like, this guy's just like fucking awesome. But like, how do you have such intuitive understanding of like protocols and mechanics? Because it sounds like you're a big part of the success of OINK. So it started with this guy, Mark, and now you've come along and implemented your ideas and thinking behind it, which to me so far sounds quite profound. So yeah, where do you get your background understanding from in crypto and treasuries and DeFi protocols?
The first thing you got to do, right? You got to look at the mechanics, the tokenomics, and if, in Better Bank's instance, if the protocol is borrowing, where does the revenue coming from to pay the interest, right? And if you can't find a way that the protocol is generating that revenue, then you have to realize that you are the interest, right? The only way possible for them to pay that interest is to borrow more and pay investors back with what they're borrowing, because they're not generating nothing. And if they're not generating nothing, that's a Ponzi. And that Ponzi ends quick, especially when the protocol borrows that amount and needs to pay that amount back, right? How are they generating 1 billion PLS in 3 days just on the PLS pool? If you can answer that, then we can agree it's a proper protocol. If you can't answer that, we have to agree it's a Ponzi, and we have to agree that it's going to end very, very quick, right?
Okay, but again, even that, like, I wouldn't even think of that. You have an intuitive understanding of that. How, like, what's your background to be able to know these things so easily and effortlessly?
Bro, my background, bro. I'm a smart man, yeah. I'm an elite man. I don't. A lot of you guys don't understand what I'm talking about, but some will, yeah. But many ask, and I don't know really what to tell you there, man. I know what the fuck's going on, bro. You know what I mean? I know what's going on. I'm educated. I look into things deeply. I uh, I get to the bottom of things. When you have a lot of money, you got to know what you're doing and what you're getting into and how things work. And if you're off by one thing, one mechanic, one tokenomic can just send something super down, right? All it takes is one piece of bad code, one piece of a bad mechanic in something, and it's over. Like I got to tell you, man, the OINK, I'll consider the best protocol on Pulse Chain, the best tech, best tokenomics, best mechanics. And because you know what? If something's shit, I'm gonna tell you, yo, it's shit. I don't care who I offend. If something's good, I'm gonna tell you, yo, that is fucking good. And I gotta tell you what's good. Vouch, vouch liquid staking, and vouch revenue token is top of the line tech, mechanics, tokenomics, and team. Listen, bro, I'm telling you,
Jexa?
if you, pardon me,
That's Jexa?
yes, Jexa.
Okay.
Let me
I'll have
let
to
me
go on.
tell you, let me tell you, if you guys want to look into something that has tech, tokenomics, mechanics, the best and forever growing, and I would consider Vouch just like I consider Oink. It does not need buyers. Buyers are okay. It helps things speed along, especially on a tax, aka revenue token. But because of their setup, of their liquid staking, and their community validators that's building, and their dispersal system of funds coming in from different places, they have good revenue. They have a good system set up, and Vouch will be the governance token that basically routes the rewards from the system to where voters want them to go, right? So the tokenomics, yeah, is just mind blowing. If you guys, I don't want to get into everything because I need to talk for fucking hours, but I would recommend you guys check it out because I'm fucking telling you, it is literally the best tech, best tokenomics, and best mechanics. If you're looking for something, yo, bro, I want to buy something now and make money next week, bro, this is not for you, bro. Take a hike. You know what I mean? If you're a
Mm,
long term, deep value investor, this is for you, right? Like I'm going to tell you this: when the cycle is over and the top comes in, bro, everybody's going to rotate their cores, all their coins to stables. Anybody in their right mind, right? Vouch is one to hold, bro. The buy pressure will come from the community fund, right? From the community treasury, which is building a lot of validators. A lot of validators are coming online because a lot of the block rewards are going into that community fund for them to add those validators. You see, I got to tell you a shit project. The most shittiest liquid staking that you could ever fuck with is Project Pdai, STPLS. Why? The redemptions are flawed. The redemptions are flawed. You can see it reflects in the price. It's 10% below peg. How is a liquid staking coin trading 10% below peg? Because the redemption mechanics are fucked up and it's not liquid. If it was liquid, you would be able to sell it for market price, but it's not liquid and it's not redeemable in certain ways. Certain ways it is, but it's not set up properly. The redemption key to keep it pegged. It's flawed, super flawed, and don't touch it because it's garbage. Best liquid staking, VPLS, bro, and their governance token, top of the line, bro. Mechanics spot on, tech spot on. I love it, bro. I love it. I can't get
well,
enough of it, bro.
I'm again. I'm just going to quickly mute you a sec. I love that you have shared that with me because two people that I really trust have shared this project with me, and you're the third person now. And then obviously there's Jexa himself, who for me is just like, he epitomizes all the magnificent qualities of this community in an individual. So I'm definitely now interested in having Jexa on and discussing this protocol because yeah, there's like people that I really love and trust and admire have said very, very good things about this. So I appreciate the shout out. And how, I mean, it's wonderful that you are here promoting the protocol that you're promoting, but you still can say, oh, sorry, you put your hand up 1 second. Yep.
I'm not promoting shit, bro. I'm just telling you what's good and what's not good. You know what I mean? If
Exactly.
I tell you
That's my
something's good,
point.
it's for a reason. Let me tell you, man, there is nobody. You can't even offer me $100,000 to talk about something, bro, because I'll fucking reject. If something's good, I'm gonna tell you, yo, it's good. If it's bad, yo, it's bad. Ain't no money gonna fucking sway me, bro. I can't be paid. I speak the truth and I tell people what up. I despise people who these marketers and promoters because they gatekeep, bro. They gatekeep and they promote bullshit. Everything they promote, bro. You can see fucking radon. They promoted hidden gem on pulse chain. The fuck, bro? It's down from $6 to 60 cents. I could have told you that. They promote fucking greed down, everything down. Why are they promoting garbage, bro? Do they care that they're wrecking people? They don't care. People listen to these people and think this is a crypto guy. He's letting us know what's up. But in fact, he's not a crypto guy. They don't even hold crypto. They make YouTube money and they spread bullshit that they're paid to say. They're given a
Mm.
list, bro, of fucking things to say, and they sit there and they read it to you like it's facts. And then you buy the coin. Well, not me, but other people buy the coin and they lose their money, right? Because they don't understand. It's not a hidden gem. Somebody's writing hidden gem. Here's $100. Please say this, guys. Hidden gem. You got to check this out. Hidden gem on Pulse Chain. Best this. What is best? Explain to us what's best. Explain the tokenomics. Explain why there's a 9% deposit fee and a 6% withdrawal fee and a 10% tax. You're promoting a protocol to take 15% of the investor's money off the bat. Then you're charging them 10% to buy and sell and transfer. The fuck is going on, bro? That's not DeFi. That's straight up fucking robbery. And when the price goes down 500 fucking percent, you know what I mean? It's fucking lost, bro. People are lost. They promote bullshit. There's no real crypto people. The real crypto people, the real millionaires are not on Twitter. They're not here like me telling you what's up because they've given up. They've probably tried. And you know how many times I almost given up? Because I tell people the right thing. Everything I say, I know what I'm talking about. And I tell people the right thing, and then people diss me. This guy's on drugs. Bro, I don't do fucking drugs. I never done drugs in my life, bro. I don't even drink. I smoke cigarettes. So I'm here trying to help people, show them the right way, and then I get dissed. For what, bro? You know what I mean? It's fucked up, bro. You know?
Yeah, just like Matt and Barley says here, you know, people judge, and I never personally judged you from that perspective. So I really respect when you bigs up Ouch, for example. Yeah, go on.
Steven, let me just cut in for 1 second, brother. I'm sorry to cut in. Matt and Bally, yeah, he's been following me, talking with me personally for over a year. And I got to tell you guys something because this blew my mind the other day, right? And we want to do this right here live, okay? And I almost forgot. Thank God you brought up Matt from Bally. So Matt contacts me yesterday and says, "Bro, I don't want to sound like fucked up or anything, bro, but you know the hat you're wearing in your video? Do you think I could get that hat off you?" I'm like, LOL, bro, are you serious? You really want my hat? Like, I'll give you my hat. Like, is that what you're asking for? And he's like, yeah, bro. He's like, you don't understand the significance of that hat. I said, what do you mean, bro? Well, he's got a memorabilia store and he doesn't want it to sell it. But he says, bro, the way I've talked about Pdai, and when Pdai pegs, yeah, it's going to be one of the most famous hats in crypto. This guy blows my mind, bro. You know what I mean? So I'm like, fuck,
Oh,
bro. So he's like, bro, can you do me a favor? When you do a video or you live stream, do you think you can sign that hat for me? Cash money, Pdai, super send it, and send him the hat. So he sent me his address, right? I got the hat on, okay? I got the hat on, and we're gonna sign it live for Madden Valley because maybe one day when Pdai pegs, this is gonna be a really famous hat. So I'm doing this for Madden Valley. We're gonna do it right now live. Okay? So
Epic.
here we go, guys. All right. So I don't know if you can see cash,
This is
money,
epic.
cash money, Pdai, $1. And we'll put super send. All right, guys. Yo, Madden Valley, that's for you what you asked me for, bro. All right? I'm going to send it in the mail. All right, guys, we got that done. Good shit. That will be a famous hat one day. This guy's super smart, man. I never thought about that.
That's epic. That's so cool, man. Mm.
All right, so what's up, Steven? What else are we going to talk about, bro?
Uh, yeah, man. Maybe I don't know. Maybe not too much. It's completely up to you.
Are we
Just
gonna
this feedback
are we,
issue.
are we gonna wait for the PDI conference that you're holding for the PDI Alpha?
Yeah, that's what I would like to do. I would like to
All
plug the
right.
Pdai conference,
All right.
obviously, which is going to be coming up in 2 weekends' time. And yeah, let's just save it for then. Really, I know that you've probably got a
So
shit ton of alpha to share.
so hold on. Let me ask you something now. Do you
Hmm.
still believe a Trofa pegs PDI, or are you understanding now that MakerDAO ESM was called for upgrades? Do we agree
Okay,
on that now?
let me just mute you for a second here, so there's not too much background again. But okay, so I definitely agree with you that the what. Okay, so I'll tell you first off, I don't understand the. I do understand the ESM. I don't understand it to the depth of that you do with Maker. That it was paused and it's being reloaded. My understanding was it got turned off and it was like, oh, it's game over now. So what I was trying to do was, what other alternatives are there for PDI? I don't think Atropa can peg Pdai because it's not built into the mechanics. I believed it could help it get there and maintain some kind of equilibrium. That's the only thing that I was talking about. So I don't think it can make it peg. It's actually literally impossible for it to make it peg because it's like not connected to the contract like MakerDAO. So when I talk about peg, I'm not talking about like a solid stable peg like what it is in the MakerDAO contract. So yes, we definitely agree with that. And I think probably it was just a way of communicating that maybe got lost in translation when I was using the word peg or something like this. But definitely agree with you on that one. Yes.
So I'm gonna have to follow you on X again now. Now that we're in agreement.
All right, nice. I'll give you a follow back too. Hmm, love it.
But yeah,
Um,
I tell you guys this. I tell you guys this. Okay. Yeah. Maker ESM was called. All right. It was called for upgrade. Yeah. Contracts that are going to be holding tens of billions of dollars need to be implemented. Integration upgrade needs to come in, and collateral vaults need to be super safe. They're testing the contracts right on the L2. Yeah. And when Maker's ready, yeah, I guarantee you the big boss is gonna peg Pdai in Maker on the private L2, and it's gonna reflect the price on the L1. And it's the smartest thing ever because it adds that extra layer of security on a private L2. We're not talking about an L2. We're talking about a private L2 that regular sheep cannot access. People cannot access to even hack those funds because it's on a private chain. You understand? And when it pegs over there, it reflects the price back over on the L1. And it gives a huge layer of security to the OA bags. So why would you guys think that RH would move the hex OA bags into pulse chain sacrifice? Because you got a plan, right?
Can I ask
As
about
he
the
moved,
L2? What even it
pardon me?
is? I don't know
What?
anything about L2. I've only been seeing it pop up on Twitter. I've been away for like the last 2 or 3 weeks. What is it?
Wait, now I lost my chain of thought. Well, it's a layer built on top of Pulse chain. It's a private layer, a private chain, a L2 built on top of Pulse chain, and it's
And it
private,
got
so it's
launched
not
recently.
accessible to everybody. Pardon me?
It just got launched recently.
Yeah, not too long ago.
Okay, sorry to
So
interrupt you.
now I lost my train of thought, bro.
Ah,
Yeah. So you see the OA, the hex OA, okay, for the Pulse chain sacrifice, move what 40 billion worth of hex into the OA, and everybody says that the hex OA got the worst possible price. What was it? Two zeros, 2023. But in fact, he got it at market price. And in fact, right now, right, Pulse chain is undervalued by 108x right now. It should be 108x higher. One Ethereum equals 1 million PLS. But right now, it equals 108 million PLS. So it's extremely undervalued, right? The Hex OA moved the Hex bags into the Pulse chain sack and a PLS sack at market price, not at the worst possible price, at market price. And those coins are sitting there and they will never come into circulation, right? Why? Why would the big man need 121 trillion PLS and 120 trillion PLSX sitting in an OA? For what reason, bro? There is no reason for it. He doesn't have it to look cool. Hey guys, look what I got. Nah, bro. If everybody who's followed RH knows the plan, knows that he had a team working on the maker contracts, it's clear. We know his intention to rotate the funds into ETH. He made that clear before a sack even happened, bro. You know what I mean? So we know that in fact he has the tools to peg almost every copy. He has the tools to do it. He's made it clear. What are the tools? He laughs. He ain't gonna tell you. What he gonna tell you? You know, we need to think about it like this in this perspective, right? Who's God will, bro?
who's
Who's
got?
God will? Who's
No
God
idea.
will? What do I think? God will is RH, and RH is God will. Why? Why was all that EHEX sacked to Bank X? Why? Why would God will sack all that EHEX as a sack to Bank X, knowing on a sack that Bank X is going to dump it anyways, right? Why, when the chain launched and things were going good, RH came in and he didn't FUD EHEX, but people took it in that way that he was FUDding EHEX. And what happened? EHEX dumped. Now, look at it like this, right? PHEX, a copy of the original version, the ETH version, the copy is worth 5x more right now. So it was more to prove a point that, look, guys, open your fucking eyes. PHEX is worth 5 times more than the original product. 5 times more. And you think all copies can't do that? Isn't it funny that EHEX and PHEX is the only one that's overvalued, which is his coin? He's showing everybody, look, these coins, these copies are more valuable than the real thing. And how would that fit into what we're talking about here? Let's talk about PWBTC. PWBTC is at a cap supply of what, 154,000? When Bitcoin supply, total max supply is 21 million, right? Max supply, 154. BTC supply, 21 million. Okay? Take that in right there. Same code, yeah? Supply is a lot less. There's no inflation. Nobody mining, dumping to pay for their fucking electricity, right? Do you think PWBTC will peg with BTC? I don't think it will peg with PWBTC. I think it will 10, 20, 30x PWBTC.
My
Why would it
friend.
not? It's more valuable than PW. It's more valuable than BTC, bro. Same code, same code.
I love it. Cash money. Let's leave it at this, brother. I think we've given a nice little. You've given a nice little slice for people to
Thanks,
get
Steven.
excited about. And I'm just going to mute you again because I'm getting the background noise. But yeah, man, thank you so much for sharing OINK. Thank you for sharing Vouch. I think even from the perspective of OINK, I mean, it was a lot of information. So I think people, I've left all the links in the description of this YouTube description, and then people should check out all the links in there. But the key takeaways for me is that if you have Hex T shares, you can get free ink. You can get free OINK rather. The treasury is the alpha, and the treasury is going to be used to be converted into stable coins at the top of the market, and it will be basically like sucking liquidity from other blockchains to pump the OINK protocol. That to me is like a massive takeaway. And so it's a boutique DeFi protocol with like some of the best masterminds that I can think of, and you're obviously a big part of that as well. So I really appreciate you sharing all that, and I appreciate you sharing the last bit of alpha about the PRC20s. And yeah, man, I'm really looking forward to this Pdai conference. I think it's going to be awesome. Like even just talking to all the different people who are going to be speaking, there's going to be such a wide range of perspectives and views. I've even got someone who's a remote viewer, and she's saying that Pdai has like an artificial intelligence egregore attached to it. So there's going to be all these wild, awesome perspectives. So there's going to be things for all different kinds of people. So yeah, man, I'm really looking forward to it. And I appreciate you sharing and coming on and sharing your time, man. It's been really amazing to reconnect with you. So, you know, we got the heart, bro. You know it and I know it.
Thank you very much, Stephen. I appreciate it, bro. I'm glad that you let me come on here and tell people what OINK is because, bro, you know, like gatekeeping is real. You know what I mean? And when there's such a good fucking protocol and products, bro, like it's amazing. Like the world needs to know. Like, bro, I could care less if somebody buys, sells, whatever. Either way, it's gonna super send, and there's nothing anybody can do to stop it, bro. You know what I mean? Nothing matters. The only thing that matters is when we convert that treasury. But Steven, I appreciate everything, bro. I'm gonna fucking go and follow you now when I go back to my computer, and yeah, I'll have you on there, bro. Okay? And
Appreciate it,
just
man.
know, MakerDAO is not dead. MakerDAO is upgrading.
Okay. I love it.
All right.
I love it. Awesome, bro. Thank you
All
very
right,
much.
guys. Everybody, thanks for watching. Talk to you guys soon. Okay.